Let's jump into debugging. So debugging is one of the most important value adds that Visual Studio provided and now Visual Studio Code provides. Very simple to do, very effective. So let's get into it. So in the basic window that you have here, I've just clicked on debug and you see variables, watch, call stack, and breakpoints. We'll get into each of them. But on the left side you have the debug sidebar, right? And this is the start button, so this will start debugging. So I had set a breakpoint here, so the code has stopped. You get a suite of options here, so whether you want to pause, step over, step in, step out, restart, or stop the debugging, and the debug console here, just to give you an overview of the UI. So generally speaking, Visual Studio has a lot of debugging support inbuilt and you don't need extensions, things like JavaScript or Node.js, but for a lot of other things like Java, you do need the extension. In the Java installation and setup video, we needed a debugger for Java extension. There are similar extensions, so if you say Python so here's a Python installation which provides you with a debugger. Similarly, if you just put in a debugger, you'll see a debugger for Chrome, for Firefox. Many debuggers are available, so you can install these for depending on what you're working with. So we've got a hello world type code here, simple program, and let's go about debugging it, right? One thing to watch out for, so you have the debug drop down here as well, so you can start debugging. All the options that you get while debugging, enable all breakpoints, disable all breakpoints, toggle breakpoint, so you can do a lot of things from here as well. So let's get started. You can even hit debug here with the Java debugger. So we've got the suite of options here. Usually you can use F5 to just continue, F10 to step over, F11 to step into. Those are the common ones that I normally use. Into too many details, as this is more of an intro video. Let me jump into how to actually debug the code. I'm not going to go into launch configurations and stuff. You rarely need them, and this is not for such an advanced user. So let's start, right? So I want to say debug. In variables, you see all the currently available variables. So test and A have come here, right? In watch, you can, in variables are the predefined variables in your code, but watch is like a predefined formula that you create. So for example, I want A and B, right? So 6 and 7 are not both even, so A and B gives you false, but A or B gives you true because 6 is even. But essentially you can keep evaluate things in watch that you couldn't in variables, right? So you can on the fly create code and see what the value would be in the watch section. This is really helpful while debugging and trying to figure out what's coming out of variables. There, we ran the code and now it's executed and finished. But you could see the use of watch and variables, right? Variables as the pre-existing variables, and watches specific things that you want to look out for, and you just define them as you want. You can even put in variable names here, but you already have them. As far as breakpoints, you just need to click here and you'll see them. You can remove, disable, and edit breakpoints just by right clicking on them. So let me just show you how that works in action. So let's say I disable this one. It just jumped to the next one, right? On F5 or play. So, yep.